stand as a black man or black woman in America?
Hell yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
Definitely.
For sure.
Most definitely.
Why is that though?
Because we're black.
Say 2010?
Yeah.
Do y'all think that it's like it's worse in 2017 than it was in 2010 or years before that? Do you think that it's worse now, or do you think that people
No,
are
it's
just
just
more
it's
aware of
process
it?
that people
I
are
think
aware of it now.
the media has made it bigger than, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always been around. It's always been a problem. But now that media has been, because media has a way of pinpointing certain stuff. Like, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I feel like that was pinpointed in the media when Obama was in office. And as soon as he stepped out of office, a whole nother ballgame on the media. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that it's died down or whatever. It's still a problem, but I think the media has a different way of showing that.
Yeah, I think it was 100% worse every 10 years from now, like 2010, 2000, 1990, 1980. You feel me? I feel like it's always been worse, and it's been kind of getting better, but people are just like more exposed to it now because it's always been bad. It's always been systematic from like the jump. You feel me? So like now people are more aware of it because of access to information on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. When something happens, you know immediately. You feel me? You don't have to depend on the news anymore.
But I think that's what makes it worse, though. The social media aspect, because now I feel like everybody has the balls to say whatever they want to say without getting any repercussions. Because they wouldn't say that shit to you in person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but now it's free speech, like on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah,
all the racists.
I also think that it's worse. I also think that it's worse now, all around, because people actually have the knowledge that shit's fucked up and that stuff that's happening in this world is going on and it's bad. And not that Martin Luther King's time was better than our time. That's not necessarily what I'm trying to say. But more people know about what's going on than they did in 1965. So like, because you know what's happening, you know the knowledge to make shit change, you just can't make shit change. Like, you can't really do anything to make change happen on a mass scale. So I feel like it's a lot of people who like have this knowledge and have this information and know what to do to take the next step to bettering themselves. They just really can't because like they don't know the platform, or like the platform isn't there for them to structurally change the system. And like, that's crazy.
And then I was gonna say the whole social media aspect has caused the deep-rooted fear, which is much greater than, I mean, of course, it was always been around, you know what I'm saying, and we know this, you know what I'm saying, but because we see it on social media and we see the extremes that it reaches, you see what I'm saying, now the fear like seeps in deeper and deeper, and it's like evolving, like white fear, colonized fear is like evolving in the hearts of the Black American, you know what I'm saying, so.
I feel like the media has also helped too, because like people are like able to speak about it more and they can like come together. Like the Black Lives Matter hashtag thing is really like, you know, like, yeah, even though like they do go on protests and stuff and government still fails to like, you know, do the justice that it needs, but I feel like eventually like in the future, the more of these things like they gather together, like, you know, the Women's March thing that they were doing, like they like were promoting it on social media and stuff, and it was like, I feel like it did help to like, you know, raise awareness as well, not just to.
I mean, with all this being said, I think that like, because we are all gaining and having these new movements, it really makes, I think, white or Caucasian America have their own movements now that is like against us, because now it's kind of like, oh, you know, these Black people are all banding together, so let's all band together and do our own thing. And that's why I think like we have Trump as president. Yeah, it's because like it's rebellious. It's like, I'm mad that, you know, we have Black Lives Matter. They're starting to have their own rights. You know, what about my rights? You know, they have rights.
What about the Ku Klux Klan that was hanging people and assassinating people? You feel me? Like, I feel like those groups have always been around. One of the biggest groups is the government. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like the Ku Klux Klan is no longer, you know, people that's gonna go out and hang people and do stuff like that. They the people that send out government offices.
Right.
They the people that's really running shit.
Yeah.
You feel me? They disguise. You feel me? They in higher platforms. So now you see all these laws that's coming down. Like, you know, even with the jail laws that's really institutionalizing Black people. You got those people passing those laws because, you know, what's the knock against Black people? We don't vote, right?
Right.
You feel me? So it's just like the Ku Klux Klan is no longer going around and throwing bombs in people's churches.
Right.
Now they are in higher places where they really can control our lives. You feel me?
And that just creates a giant system problem.
Yeah.
You gotta think like the ex-head of like I think police was like the Ku Klux Klan. He was a grandmaster, so like Grand Dragon.
Well, so like the president's been bad. You feel me? Like Donald Trump, he's just the stupidest one. The wild, you gotta understand like. Nixon, you feel me? Reagan, you know what I mean? Like
Bill Clinton even messed up.
Bill Clinton, George Bush, his father, you feel me? This shit been fucked up from the jump. That's my biggest point in these arguments, that I feel like there's just more exposure. It's not worse now. People just know about it a lot more. It was a lot worse. People were literally dying in the streets while it was still a system. You know what I mean?
I feel like when you see it, it hits home more than, you feel me, when you're not saying it. When you say, damn, you feel me, back in the day, you say, oh, you know, Eddie got shot by the police. You be like, damn, you feel me, that's fucked up. But now you seeing it on social media, you actually say somebody dying, it's like, yo, like, this shit really fucked up. And then it's on every social media platform. It's in your face 24/7. I feel like.
And that's why I think it's a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also with that, like,
go ahead.
with that, like you said, the social media, like, you're able to see it, and then like at the same time, you know how like people have like TVs and stuff now, so like they see like what the decision has been made like to the police, and then they just don't get any type of punishment, and they're seeing that, so it's like it's creating more anger and stuff.
But see, what I was gonna say was like, all right, on one hand, social media is bringing awareness, right? But one thing I don't like about it, and one thing I see happening to myself, I'm seeing it so much, I'm being exposed to it so much that I'm becoming numb to what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, in real life, when I was like 10, you kill a motherfucker in front of me, I'm gonna be shook.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Alton Sterling just get shot, and I'm just like,
Actually being passed
right
everywhere.
Not
you see everywhere. And see another thing regarding this is like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like the youth is where the energy is at, right? So it's like the youth, they're becoming aware, they're becoming like conscious and knowledgeable of these things, but at the same time, they're not being led and guided properly. So then like when like they have the energy, they got revolution in their hearts, but they don't know what to do with it. So then they go do dumb shit, like run through the streets and just attack
burn
white
down your own
people,
city
or
and just
burn down your own city and shit.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like social media like has become a negative and a positive. It just keeps balancing out every
But
time.
I feel like with what you said, like burning down their communities and stuff like that, they're seeing that, you know, their community, like their government, whoever, you know, that they were like, they're not giving them the justice they need. So I feel like they no longer feel like they're a part of that community anymore.
I don't think that's the reason they're doing it though. I think because social media is so big now, I feel like everything everybody does now is based off of the need for attention. So they do it, I want to be the biggest one, so I'm going to throw a brick at this car, then I'm gonna be on TV. Like that's what it is. It's not really about the anger of what's going on in my eyes.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I just say. It's like I understand like what you were saying while there about like it was definitely worse. Like people dying in the street, kind of nobody gave a fuck. But like I definitely feel like it's worse now. Like when you think of somebody like Rodney King got beat in the street, everybody seen that video. It was in the 90s. It's 2017. Like you know what I'm saying? And it's still happening. Yeah, it might be happening more because more people got phones. More people got fast internet, so now more people can see it. But like that stuff been happening for so long. I just feel like it's worse now. And Dave Chappelle said it the best. This not me talking. Dave Chappelle was like, our generation now is a generation of kids who don't give a fuck. Like we just don't give a fuck no more. And it's because we've seen shit like that. And it's like, well, shit ain't changed yet. You know what? Fuck it. I ain't never gonna get a change. You know what I'm saying? And then like. We're also like that instant gratification generation too. Like she said, you know, you throw a brick at a cop car during a riot and everybody knows you now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's instant celebrityhood. That's instant notoriety. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we don't get the justice we want quick. So now it's like, fuck it, we never gonna get out of here for it.
That's what
I don't think it's just like that only that, but I think that like all the social media and all the stuff, what I've been seeing is creating more of a separation and more of a divide. Because I find myself frustrated with the other race. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like you know, you go someplace, I'm just like I remember one day I was just like, yo, the white man. They are blowing me today because like it was just like back to back to back, like they was blowing me that day. So like it's just like I think that like social media is starting to create a huge divide. So now I see like if a white person posts something like, or I see girls put on, look at how great and gorgeous I look compared to all these plain white faces. Like that's kind of disrespectful.
That is
yeah, it's like it's very
That's
disrespectful.
white
It's not okay, yeah.
And it's just kind of like it's creating white hate. You know, like not everything that's pro-black, I'm not saying is white hate, because like that's a huge problem that white people don't understand. But there is actually like white hate because like we are mad at like the things that are happening. We're mad at like the police. We're mad at everybody. So it's just kind of like I hate all white people. You are the enemy.
But let's see it on the other perspective, because I know a lot of black people, we don't want to look on the police perspective, but you feel me? But it's like when you got so much hate for those people, and like we automatically when the police come around us, we already think it's gonna be some
Right.
So you feel me? So we got the instant bias. We like, man, fuck this nigga. You know what? I'm not gonna do nothing. Yeah, fuck you. You feel me? And then niggas, you feel me? Now they gotta react how you act, and I feel like.
But you know what it is though? Like how I was saying earlier, I didn't think like the media has a way of twisting things. So I feel like all the attention was brought to like the police killings or whatever under Obama's administration, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think it was to make him look bad. Like, okay, well look how black people look, and this is your leader. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing anything for y'all. That's not the case, because as soon as he got out of office, you don't see that shit in the media like you used to. You used to see that shit every day. And now that it's a white man in office, now it has changed.
But now the police force got better. And
Yeah.
shit.
But I feel like you're making a comment as far as it relates to the systematic, like the structure to keep one group lower than the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just it's so fine tuned. Like the system is so fine tuned. It's so fine tuned that they didn't give a fuck when they took out their president in the middle of the day. When they killed JFK, they didn't care who thought who did it or none of that. When they killed MLK, they didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Like the system just so fine tuned that like. Yeah, the media can control whatever we think. You know what I'm saying?
And the police system in itself, you know what I mean? Like these police officers are trained to think this way.
Yeah.
When they're shooting at targets, it's probably like a African American or Hispanic person that they're shooting at. They have to keep a job, to provide for their family. They have to like assimilate to the police culture as like, you know what? I gotta be on your side because I don't want y'all against me. You know what I mean? Because if y'all against me, some bad stuff gonna happen. Blah blah. So they have to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like they're kind of brainwashed to do it. You know what I mean? They don't even know that they're brainwashed to do it, and the police system has been this way for the longest time. I just feel like things are being reported now. I think a lot of things went under the table. There was no reports about it. If somebody died, they're quick to switch it up, oh, it's a suicide and stuff like that. Now I just think things are being reported now, so...
But see, the thing about that though is like, alright, like people don't really know the original job of the police.
Exactly.
Like I seen, like, I don't know where I read it. I don't know where I read it or seen it at, but it says something like, police, their job is not to like be fair to the citizens. Their job is to enforce the law, whatever the law may be. So if they make a law saying go kill all black people, they're going to enforce the law. That is what a police system is.
But you don't even. But the police system started off as a slave catching system for catching runaway slaves. So I mean, that's just like. You feel me? That's just came, and you know. That's how it originated. That's how it originated and shit. So when you originated from catching slaves, now you do a whole bunch of drugs in the black community, and you put the war on drugs, and now you catching a whole lot of black people again, and you enforcing these laws, and these laws just keeping black people. You feel me?
And you like the jail situation, like this.
And you gotta think like kind of what he was saying. How they try to keep like a race and inferior, just. From Reagan starting that war on drugs, you feel me? It's kind of like it's just been like a big downhill spiral. You seen people and the way they want to keep the families broken is they want to take away the black man from the families. If you look at like the black man has been incarcerated the highest rate.
And then they
you feel what I'm saying? So you taking away from these children that have men in their lives. You causing black women to play the role as black men as well. You feel what I'm saying? When I feel like at certain families, really, you should have a man in the family.
And that's all a part of the systematical breakdown of the minority group, whether that be African American or anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that you're not having that father figure in your life makes a big deal. And not saying that like if anybody watching this or anybody in this room like doesn't have that father figure. No. In like the 80s when crack cocaine happened, there was a massive amount of fathers just gone. Like that means you don't have your neighbors. You don't have your neighbor's father to look up to. You don't have your football coach no more to look up to because they done came in the hood, dropped crack, and took all your dads.
You know what's crazy about that? Now they make jokes about it. Like I know this girl. She's up here. She's a black girl. Don't act like it. Her boyfriend had put on, her boyfriend's white, had put on Facebook talking about I only date black women because I don't like meeting fathers. Like, y'all make fun of that shit now, but where did it originate from?
And that's her man?
That's what
she allows that?
Hold up, man. That shit kind of funny.
Why is she making it?
That's actually crazy though.
It goes back to the whole system thing, because like you said, the system is fine tuned. Like, all right, like the mass incarceration rate, like the prison industry.
Oh my god.
Y'all don't really realize
billions.
It's
a big money, but like y'all gotta think about it. They're watching y'all from when y'all are in school. When y'all can't read by a certain age, they are building a prison for you. Like, I am a person who's in psychology and all this other stuff, and I've done research on like this. I just wrote a paper on it, and it had to do with the diagnosis of conduct disorder in African American males. Like, conduct disorder is basically like you can't act right in class. So like now in class, y'all supposed to be like learning and all this other stuff. They take you out of that class and they put you in special education. So now you don't have the proper education. And let's say you did have ADHD or whatever you need. You don't get the proper treatment. You don't get counseling. You don't get none of that. They just have you in some other class. And now you're labeled with conduct disorder. You end up in the juvenile system. You end up in jail because like it was started from birth. Just because you weren't even paying, because you weren't interested in what the teacher was teaching. Because your teacher probably wasn't teaching anything that you could understand. They wasn't relating it to anything you could, like, that you lived through. They teaching you about things that that have nothing to do with your real life. You back home, your mom is doing this and doing that.
I feel like education is key. Sometimes you have to work through the system to change the system. You can't always just be against it the entire time. You have to educate yourselves. A lot of the people that were leaders back in the day, whether it's slavery or the civil rights movement, they all educated themselves within that system that you guys, that people hate, and they all became activists and leaders. You still gotta be smart. I think that we can't just ignore school altogether. Even though some schools don't teach us everything we need to do, we have access to the internet. You know, there's no reason to be stupid or ignorant when you have access to Google or access to library or all these places where you can learn about your own culture if they're not teaching it in school, and then go back to school and teach people or tell teachers this is what they should be teaching. So yeah, education's the way.
But one thing y'all don't understand, the shit is going on now. In Baltimore, they trying to shut down more public schools, and they building more jails in Maryland.
Exactly.
But it's systematically because we gonna take a whole bunch of niggas out of somebody else's hood and send them all the way across the city, right? And then put them all in these big ass classrooms where they can't learn anyway. So they're gonna get in trouble at the school because they ain't got no after school programs. So they're gonna get in trouble. So, oh, you know what? We got somewhere for you to go. We're gonna put your ass in jail. You feel me? That's how it breaks down. You take away the schools in the fucking city, and then
I feel like once you're in the jail system, whatever, once you've been in jail, you can't get
Once
out.
you
Like,
let
get out and you try to get a job.
You can't get one.
Have you been arrested?
You
Have
can't
you
do anything.
then you gotta go back to doing illegal things to make money. Like, then you
It's
go
a
back
cycle.
to
It's a
jail.
never-ending cycle.
It's a cycle. So I want to go back to my mad question. Let's spice things up a
it's a
little
solution.
bit. What is the solution?
The solution.
Honestly, the solution is education.
Period.
That's it.
it.
You
Knowledge.
can't do
Okay,
anything else.
All right, hold
Not
on.
school. Not school.
But
Education. That's it.
Knowledge.
Like knowledge.
Knowledge.
I mean,
That is
it's
all.
all.
I know you're the highest parts of
Yeah.
government.
I know y'all say
Knowledge,
not
yeah.
school, but like I said, they are looking at you young men and mostly young men that can't read. Y'all gotta start somewhere in school.
How
Like,
can you say not school when school is a
starts-
part of the system?
no, I know school is a part of the system, but y'all need to learn how to read. Y'all need to learn how to get good grades in school so y'all can get into good. That's
But
what
they took my dad in the 80s. He can't teach me nothing no more.
Yeah.
your
And
dad.
we can't use we have to be able to use whatever resource they can provide for us to get there. For example, Obama was our president or whatever. He can't really look in our for the good interest of the black people because all he's surrounded with is people that are willing to work against him. So if more African American people are able to take government positions, then
Right.
then that's when he can be.
The only way we can make change is if we go through the education system, get up there and make difference. And it's so easy to hear people say, you get up there and then you're done, or something bad happens to you. It's yeah, that's because they're alone up there. You know what I mean? They're the minority. We have to be the majority in the system to make a change. If it's only one person that's really pushing for this, whatever law they're trying to pass or whatever thing they're trying to pass is not going to go through because it has to go through other people, and people are not in support of their ideas. It's not going to pass through. So the only change we can make is go to the education system. They want you to think you can't make it. That's what they want you to think. But if you know that's what they want you to think,
you just gotta really put yourself out there, do what you gotta do, and go up there. Like I feel like education is the only way out. We have to get up in the government system to make changes, because that's where the law is. So if you don't like what's going on, you have to make a change, and you cannot sell yourself short saying like there's no change. This is what they want us to happen. This is what they want. Like, you know what I mean? If this is the case, if we believe that, then we would still be in slavery.
Able to be government
I think it has to
positions,
be like
teachers,
education, unity, and planning. You know what I mean? Like, everybody can be educated, but if y'all don't know what to do, you know what I mean? If y'all not all together, exactly, strategizing on ways to do this, like, all right, so you're a lawyer or you're helping with the Congress or whatever. So now you can push more with these different laws. You can have your own output, but you can like communicate to these other people that's doing these things that we need, like lawyers or senators and different stuff like that. So you have to unify and create a plan, and also a different system that can also work. You have to offer a solution of a different system.
I feel like it breaks down to all the role models too, because not one of black people is not a lot of role models. You feel me? Niggas is coming from where I'm from. They like, yo, we gonna either hoop, we gonna play football, or we gonna rap. If none of that shit work out, I'ma just so dope, because you ain't got no other people. Ain't nobody. You ain't got no lawyer coming to the hood.
But if you already think that selling dope is an option, you're always gonna like try to go to that. Like you can never think like you can't have it even in your mindset that you can fail, and then you know if you got an astronaut, if you got different people,
I understand. That's the problem. It's like who's gonna start it?
Exactly.
It's like everybody that we see is rap. We see Diddy, you see 50 other people who are rappers. You never see any. The only people that we see is Barack Obama. That's the only person. There's nobody else. Back in the day, we had Malcolm X, MLK. We don't have that.
But that's exactly why.
It's like where's it gonna start? It's like everybody's relying on.
They're gonna assassinate you and your family.
There you go. They killing them.
Like I said, like they're only gonna let you get so far in this system before they show you, all right, look, you getting ahead of yourself, you getting above yourself. Just like the judge that was holding them white cops accountable for their actions, and they found her body dead in the river. You see what I'm saying? And it was another judge that they found her body dead in the river. You see what I'm saying? Like it's like I said, like the whole neutralized part. Like, all right, they'll let you go to their system, to their colleges, you know what I'm saying, learn their education, you see what I'm saying, go into their corporations, help their corporations thrive, their businesses thrive. But the minute you try to go back to the hood, or you try to go to anywhere and do something for black people, it is a wrap. They not fucking with it, they not letting you do it.
So nobody wants to step up to that plate.
Out here ready to die for the cause.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't want us to get that power.
Like I said,
the only platform that can be overlooked on is music. That's it. That's why you think people like Kendrick.
That's not true, because there's still women. There's still black women becoming lawyers. There's still black women becoming judges. There's still black. There's still black men. I know. Y'all are talking about the judge that died. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm not just saying. I'm just saying that like. Y'all, I get that, like, you know, music and all stuff, because I'm all for the arts. Don't get me wrong. I love, like, that we're all in the arts, and that's great. But, like, the whole thing is that, like, I'm so strong on, like, education and all that other stuff, because, like you said, there are no astronauts. So if you got somebody in the hood that stayed focused and just went with the, I guess y'all could say, the education system, and became an astronaut and came back to the hood and said, I'm an astronaut, and I can help you out. Like, it's just, like, sometimes you gotta, I'm just saying, but, like, y'all have to, like, y'all gotta focus on school. Y'all all can't all become ballers. Y'all all can't.
But that's what the thing is, the people who become ballers are going to go back to where they came from.
Exactly. Y'all sit there talking about Jay-Z throws money into his neighborhood. You see this man walking around there.
What they saying is when you look up to the people that's up there, that's all you got to look up to. The Kendrick Lamars, the
J. Cole,
Navarro Bowman's,
because those are what's in front of you. Y'all don't pay attention to the black astronauts.
Here we go. Those people ain't coming into your hood and saying they're a black astronaut, and you know why? Your lawyers, your judges, your black astronauts, all of them, they not coming back into your hood and saying that shit.
They don't get credit
because when they do, they gonna have a target on their back. The reason that the rappers can come into your hood and the basketball players can come into their hood and say that because they not preaching the same message. A rapper, J. Cole can talk all he want about like preaching that type of message, but he not gonna have a target on his back like somebody preaching unity, togetherness, always, you know what I'm saying, like superb black excellence, like something that Malcolm X was preaching. You're not gonna have that target on your back unless you really
dismantle every form, every form of resistance they have dismantled. You know what I mean? So
what
it's
you guys said
discouraging.
about they're scared that they get killed or whatever the situation is. The reason I feel like they're getting killed or whatever, assassinated, you know, is because like in the system they're in the government system, they're the minorities. You know, it's less black people in the system, so it's majority people that are against them. So if more black people are like willing to go to the educational system and get up there, now it's like it's majority of them. It's not like it's, you know.
But how do you get successful in a system that's not good for you?
They're going to keep you down. JFK was the president, basically.
But I
JFK was the president.
But
JFK was about to say
though,
everybody
but
can
go
vote.
back to
You know
what
they
he
did?
said,
They
though.
split his wig open.
But what he said that the reason, like, you know, it's like when you go to school, you're like, oh, I'm gonna try to go to college, but if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna go sell dope. That's why I feel like they're not able to succeed, because when you think that there's another option than the only one, then it's always like every time, let's say you get a bad grade, it's like.
But that's not how it comes from nowhere. Somebody instilled that in their mind.
I was about to say that comes from these are conditioned thoughts, like from time over time. When you take away the book from a person and tell them they cannot read, that shit is going to have effects for hundreds of years, because you cannot read. You know what I mean? Now they're giving us education, but then it's still a poor education. Now they're giving us teachers, but these teachers don't care about us. And I understand there should be a lot more people going to education, but the system has made it to the point that they can't, because they're getting locked up, they're getting shot, everybody.